Carbon markets put a price on emissions.
We need a price on carbon dioxide so that people will then use it in an efficient way.
So if we can price carbon into the financial system, we can create the outcomes that we're looking for in our markets.
Up until now, carbon emissions have been free. So just like you would have a price on any commodity, we need a price on carbon dioxide to get investment into the projects that will reduce emissions as quickly as possible now.
Carbon markets empower communities on the ground, particularly in emerging markets, whether it's someone who wants to introduce clean cooking within households in Kenya, or it's a farmer in India that wants to move towards regenerative agriculture. All of these activities can be enabled by tapping into the carbon markets, which attract foreign inflow of investment. Without carbon markets, the capital doesn't really flow because there's no price signal.
Carbon markets have a very big role to play in Standard Charter's footprint, from carbon credits to helping countries and markets monetize natural capital stores. Our clients in our markets are asking us to participate in this space and apply our own intellect and experience to the problem, bringing something very different and novel to the table in pursuit of creating value and solutions.
Standard Chartered is a bank that is always looking to innovate. It's an organisation that sees the potential in new markets. Carbon markets is exactly the right place for us to operate, to be able to get that funding from those clients that we know so well into markets that we really, really understand.
My greatest ambition for the work that we're doing here is to bring this very fragmented space together, bringing that harmony and that common agreement to get the carbon market scaling and create the outcomes that we're looking for.
A lot of good work has gone into restoring and maintaining the environmental integrity of these markets. I think the time is now that we need to encourage more and more private sector actors to be using these markets as part of credible transition plans.